Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California, and today I'm just going to talk about seeds. Where I get my seeds, and a lot of people ask me, where do you get your seeds? Where do I get seeds? Where are the best seeds? You know what? You can get seeds pretty much anywhere. You could go to your local nursery, and I just picked some up, and you can go to like the Dollar Tree has seeds, and they're like $4 for $1. You can go to Walmart, you can go to your hardware stores. A lot of places have seeds. The 99-cent store, they get in theirs. This is usually their brand. And I buy a lot of their squash and cucumber and lettuce sometimes from them. I get seeds from a lot of places. Let's see. I've got seeds here from Baker Creek. So I have bought from Baker Creek. Baker Creek is wonderful. Go to their website. They have things you've never even heard of. Here I've got red Brussels sprouts and red roselle and peas, and that's the receipt and a little thank you note. Baker Creek is really good because you can go online and you can just go through their catalogs. I believe shipping is free, but if it's not, it's cheap. And they have all kinds of stuff. So Baker Creek is a good one. And then, oh look, I even got from Nick Federoff. If he has a live show on his Facebook sometimes, if you call in, he sends you seeds. And let's see, what did he send me? I can't even remember. He sent me a card. Oh, he sent me some seeds here. He sent me cress, Brussels sprouts. There were some other things he sent me, dinosaur kale. So there's a lot of places you can get seeds. And these were free. I called in. I didn't even know he was going to send me seeds. That was before we did the TV show with him. I just called in his radio show. Keep an eye out for Nick Federoff and Things Green and see when he has a radio show. If you've got any questions, call him and he'll send you seeds. The other place that I like to get seeds, which is going to be one of my favorite, not my favorite, but one of my favorite, is eBay. I have had, I shouldn't say Gary and I both have had terrific luck buying seeds from eBay. eBay, we get so many great seeds from them, and this particular person is the heirloom seed guy, but there are so many. What you do is you read the reviews and see what people have written about them. If they say, oh, I'm so happy the seeds came great, you know, I don't go by the few that might say, oh, I bought seeds and it didn't grow. Well, they tried to plant watermelon in their apartment without turning on their heater and didn't leave it in the window, and they put it on their kitchen counter on top of the refrigerator, and the vine didn't grow. You know, I'm just using that as a funny example. In other words, sometimes seeds don't grow for various reasons, and it's not always the seller's fault. Sometimes it's our fault. But, you know, they send out seeds, and like, here's a package of seeds. I bought some leeks and carrots. They send them out generally when you get them on eBay in little packets. And very simple, and they send it with a stamp. And this whole order cost me $2.76. That's including shipping. That's going to be like one of your cheapest places to get seeds. This order from eBay, and I have bought from different people. I bought Brussels sprouts, a melon, a Tigger melon, red Russian kale, Brad's atomic tomatoes. The whole order cost me $6.04. You really can't beat that. I don't think you can beat that. So I personally have been really happy with eBay. Now, I have not purchased any seeds from Amazon. I did have recently, I'm going to say one of my first purchases on Amazon that did not go well. 4 orders in a total of 6 items were wrong, and they resent out the wrong item again, and I was very upset because I had to waste all this time, and it was like an hour on the phone with all the phone calls back and forth, and they explained to me something that was interesting. With Amazon, there is no human beings involved in packing items, she explained. They go to the shelf, they pull things, whatever's there, they pull it. So you can't talk to anybody. And that was an interesting thought. They took care of it. They covered everything. In fact, because of all the problems, they gave me a refund. But I'm just saying I don't know about seeds from Amazon. I've never bought. But when she brought that up to me, and the supervisor was great. I'm going to have to admit, The other 3 people I spoke to on the phone, their customer service was really bad when I called. But the supervisor was fantastic. When she explained to me that no humans touch their parcels that are being sent out, I thought, wow, that is the difference with eBay. When you get something from a seed person or a person who's planting, let's say, walking onions, and they're selling little walking onions, they will correspond with you on eBay. You can ask them questions. Do you have an idea what's the best way of planting it? And if they know, they'll tell you. So I'm going to have to admit, I really am more fond of buying certain things on eBay than I am really any place else. So enough with that. That's just an idea. But go to your local nursery if you're looking for something in particular and look around. You might find like purple basil. And you might find regular sweet basil. You might find different things there. And you can pick up a single packet. Look through, see what there is. They've got racks and racks at nurseries. And you don't have to overwhelm yourself with an entire box load of seeds. You don't have to do that. You can pick out the few you want to start with, and the seed planting is starting now, and for some people it won't be for another few weeks, because you don't really want to start your seedlings inside until it's about roughly 4 to 6 weeks before you can start to think about planting outside. But you can start earlier if you really wanted to, and then keep them in the window or something until it's time to plant. So you can really start them anytime. I've started, but we're in a growing season that normally we can start planting out in March, but last year we were freezing in March, literally. So you never know from year to year or season to season. But the thing is, you could start a few things, and as your success grows on you and you'll start to see plants growing, you probably will want to go out and get more. Now remember, when you buy a packet of seeds, you don't have to plant the whole thing. If you wanted to, let's say, plant some Hungarian peppers, you can plant a few in there, plant 6 anywhere. We'll go into how I plant my seeds in the other video, and I've had many other videos on the paper cup system, which I absolutely love. But you could even start them in a flower pot and put them on your windowsill and then start to pull them out. I mean, for instance, I planted a few sweet basil from a packet of seeds, and now that the plants are getting bigger in here, I'm starting to separate them in my paper cup system, whether I use a small one or a big one, doesn't matter, and I'm just separating them out. The reason I'm taking them out is if they get too overcrowded, usually the strongest survive. It's kind of like they will almost eliminate the smaller ones, but if you separate them, you can end up with almost all of them being successful. Almost. Remember, you're not always going to be successful, and you will learn more by failing at something than just trying it and not sure if it kind of worked. So believe you me, you're going to learn. We're all learning. I'm still learning. So seed planting is starting now. Get some seeds. Start looking around. Think about what you can grow in your area. Everybody's different, and every spot that you plant in has a microclimate. For instance, on my table here, if I wanted to plant something that needed a lot of sun, and this was my garden, I would be planting it there where the sun is. If I plant something here where the shade is, it may not do that well. This one may. But don't be fooled. There are certain things that say need a lot of sun, and you plant them in the sun, and if you're in a very warm area, like here, in Southern California in the summer, we can get we can go over 100 degrees. That little plant that said it loves sun may not like sun that much. It's like stevia. It said plant in direct sunlight. All my stevia that was planted in direct sunlight died. So when I moved them into more of a shaded area where it got some sun and shade, I'm growing so much stevia, I don't even know what to do with it. So we'll talk about microclimates later. Today I really want to stick with where to get seeds. Now, where do I get my favorite seeds? Where do I get my favorite seeds? From me. That's where I get my favorite seeds. And the reason I say that is when your plants are successful, and you're going to have some that are not going to grow, and you're going to have some that are just taking off and growing, and you're going to be so excited. This thing is just boom, going straight into the air and throwing seeds and, all kinds of beautiful vegetables for you. And if it's flowers, that's okay, same thing. But when it produces seed, collect some. Just some. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. Here is, well, let's show you here. Not my best way of collecting Popolo, but this is Popolo, which I thought was smart. Put it in this Ziploc bag. The only problem with the Ziploc bag is the Popolo seeds are so tiny. I don't know if you can see this. So tiny. And they have like a needle point. They're not sharp, but they work their way out of this cheesecloth type stuff. So not the best way of storing them. They're fine. I can plant them. Plus they're going to blow all over, and I'm going to have them blowing out the window and be growing Popolo out there. The other way I was saving them for a while was just in plastic jars, because it's so easy. This is a whole jar of dill, and you can write on there, which is really easy, and keep track of what you've got. So that's another way of collecting seeds. Make sure they're dry, and if in doubt or just in case, put a piece of paper towel in there. You know, the regular paper towel or a piece of napkin, and that will help keep it dry too. The napkin will pull in any moisture and keep it away from the seeds. And then this is garlic chives, see? And that's what I really like. Containers like this, keep them in a cool, not cold, not the refrigerator, a cool, dry place. Don't store your seeds above the washing machine. They don't grow good after that. How do I know that? Not a good place, but a cool, dry place. The other way I love collecting seeds, see, I've got a whole bunch of seeds in here, is we all get, we all get junk mail. I'll get back to the in a second. And I collect the envelopes inside the junk mail. I throw the junk mail away. My postmaster once told me never call it junk mail because that's where they make their money on. But when you get those letters and they're going to take out a credit card or this and that, or even your bills, if you're paying your bills online, you've got that envelope inside, that with that little window, you want to make sure there's a plastic on that window. You've got the envelope. That's the envelope you want to keep. And then you can collect some seeds. This is dinosaur kale. And not only that, but I actually wrote where I collected it from and the date. And then you just throw them in there, put a little piece of paper napkin or something in there, just in case there's a little moisture. That will help draw it away. And stick it somewhere. I use this container and I have it marked seeds. I've got all these here. Let me show you here. More Popolo. And this one is squash hybrid, and this one says on the deck parsley. And you can just put them somewhere in a nice dry place, and when you want to go plant them, plant them. The reason I laughed is I've got an envelope here dated surprise. So I found a bunch of seeds. They look like they're peppers, and I wasn't sure what they were, so I called it surprise. Yeah, and then I wonder why I'm growing something. The reason why I like my seeds so much is because if they grew here and they were successful, that means everything was right. The temperature, the climate, the soil, the way I grew them, everything was right. And that worked out really good. And if it worked out good, it's most likely going to work again. Not for every seed. It's like individuals. Not every seed's going to grow perfect. But that is why I really like collecting my own seeds. Because generally, if I'm collecting seeds for my dill or my dinosaur kale, I'm planting things that Gary and I want to eat. I'm not that much in the stuff I don't want to eat. If I don't like it, why am I going to bother? I may do some things just to try. But if you really like something, I love our dill. I love our garlic chives. I want to make sure I collect as many seeds as possible, and then I don't even have to think about it. I can just toss it in one of my compost in place containers after I put all the kitchen scraps, and I can just toss them in there. And then whatever grows, grows. So I don't even have to think about individual containers and planting them that way. You'll have so much seed, whatever makes it, makes it. Kind of do that with Popolo. I find a place, say, I want some Popolo here, throw a handful down there, water it in, and whatever grows, grows. So as far as where to get the seeds, you'll be able to start collecting the seeds that you like out of your own yard, but buy seeds wherever you want. The important thing is try to find something that may grow in your area, But that is not to say that you don't want to maybe try something that's not supposed to grow in your area. You might get surprised. There are people that say, oh, you can't grow this in your area. Guess what? You find out you can. So it's always worth a try. So get a combination of things you know, like your area. Collect your own seeds so when the next season comes, you've got your own little stash and treasure of seeds. And then also, go ahead and buy some things you want to try. I want to try these peppers. Arugula. Well, we grow arugula, and no, Gary has not collected the seeds. They fall on their own and they come up on their own. And radishes. Try different things. So that's basically it. We'll get more into the next video, and I've got other videos on planting, how I use paper cups, how I stake things. I can touch on this really quick. I used to use a lot, real quick we'll do this, but we're not going to get into details, of ice cream sticks. And it's so easy on an ice cream stick to write down whatever you want to grow. You know, it doesn't matter. But the problem is when you put them outside, after a few weeks, this is like wood chips in Gary's garden. When it's in the soil and gets wet, ice cream sticks break down. So when you go back, you may not have what you wanted. Now, the other thing you can do is if you have like a party or you go somewhere out to eat or whatever, you have plastic silverware. I got this poly tape, and you can use masking tape and you can use other tape or no tape at all, right on the silverware, and then stick that in. You could just write on there if that's good enough for you, or you could write lengthwise and just stick it in. This won't break down as fast, but when you're not using it, throw it away. You don't want to leave plastic in your garden. You can use knives, and with this, I just stuck on a piece of tape on both sides, and now I can write whatever seeds. Let's say I'm going to do peppers. I can write down the peppers, the dates, and this will last a lot longer than the wooden ice cream sticks. As far as writing, when you're writing on cups, you can write on cups, but it will break down because these cups are going to break down. But that's why I love paper cups, because once I plant my seeds in paper cups, they don't come out of the paper cups. They're planted cup and all. And we will get into that. So I hope I've answered questions on seeds. Oh, one other tip I did not talk about. You also could even use a clothespin. You could put a piece of tape on a clothespin in the house, and you could just put a clothespin. I can show you real quick, and that is a really good way to label your seedlings that way. I'm not sure if I've got a scissors. I probably do. I just don't see it. Yep, I got a scissors. It's hidden under all my seeds. And this way, you know, you can move it around. You can take it off when you plant it outside. This would be more for the house, but you would just take a little clothespin, and you get like 50 to 100 at the dollar stores. They're really cheap. You can write down what you've got here, and again, if you were going to plant, this is basil, this is sweet basil. Let's do this here. And you can write it clearer than me. And then, you can spill it all over your table like me. Then you've got the basil there. Now I can remember that this is, all my soil is important to me, this is sweet basil. So there's a lot of fun ways. So this works really good for paper cups and small containers. This has got a lip on it, so it's going to be a little harder. This will be a little harder, so you can't, I guess you can put it sideways, but if you're using the paper cup method, you can mark your seedlings that way. So I hope I've given you ideas. Try different things, look around, think about different things you want to try. You don't have to, if you're a new gardener, you don't have to plant a ton of stuff because you don't want to become overwhelming. You just want to get some things growing, and then as you grow and spring comes on, you can just keep planting. So with that, ask questions. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thousands come in a day. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow.